Hey guys, Wilbur here playing Raid Shadow Legends, and I have been getting a lot of requests around Clan Boss. Some people want me to dig into their own account to try to rework some things. Others want me to show different champions and compositions that I plan on doing in the future. And then some requests have been around my own Clan Boss on just more detail on kind of their setup and how they synergize. Recently, I put out a couple of videos of my transition from a speed tune counterattack team to more of a speed team, not fully, relying on that counterattack. So I want to dig into some of the detail on this composition, explain kind of my thinking process around it. This video is not going to be for everyone. I understand that. But for those of you that are looking to improve your Clan Boss and need some ideas, hopefully this is a start, and then we can kind of build on this with other videos around different compositions as well. So recently I just hit 30 million damage on Ultra Nightmare. This composition can bounce between 20 million and 30 million damage. 30 million is about the highest I've gotten. I've gotten 29 a few times. But because I run this on full auto, and sometimes the AI isn't smart enough to handle certain situations, that tends to fluctuate my overall damage. Typically, I think I get around 24 or 25 million damage overall on void hits. On the other affinities, since I have 3 spirit champions, probably the one that hurts me the most is magic. I've gotten as low as probably 14 or 15 million damage on magic. Not good when you have 3 spirit champions. So yeah, so again, this isn't going to be for everyone. We're going to dig into the detail, but hopefully this gives you guys some ideas on how to build your own Clan Boss. So we're just going to go through the list here. So Raglan, very hard to get, but she is phenomenal in every content really. And I recently have just used her in Clan Boss, and she goes above and beyond my expectations. So I have decked her out in stalwart gear because, as you get around the 10-minute mark on Ultra Nightmare, that guy hits really hard, and she is one of the main people in my team that I use to get me out of jams. So that 30% AoE mitigation is crucial for her. For the gear, I'm going to go through all the gear because I know sometimes you guys like to see what I've rolled on for all my substats. In general, for I think all of these champions, I've tried to get speed rolls. The other stuff was kind of a bonus. So I'll go through here real quick. You can pause it if you need to. But on her, we don't need accuracy. We need lots of speed, defense, and HP primarily. I did have a speed set because I kind of got lucky on some speed rolls. I think I need to get her faster though. Actually, I think I need to get a few people faster on my team. I went ahead and got defensive percent gloves and chest, and then speed boots. And I think the only one that doesn't have speed boots on my team is Occult Brawler. I could be wrong, but I think that was the case on my setup here. For the accessories, I think all my people have defense primary stats, except for the banner, depending on what they need. I need to switch this out. Ideally, if I was just purely relying on Clan Boss, I would do like a defensive primary here, but I got good speed substats, and I like the resistance for Faction Wars, so I went ahead and went with that. For the overall stats here, we got 258 speed. I think this isn't high enough. It's hard to bump up that speed when you don't have all speed sets, but I would like to get this higher, and I'll show you why. For some of her skills, it's just hard to beat. You just can't beat some of her skills. Her defense is 3,700. That's pretty good for her. I was pretty happy with that. And then HP is not too bad, about 43,000 HP. But primarily, we want to get speed, then defense, and then HP. If I can get some crit rate and crit damage, that is kind of icing on top. But let's see here. So masteries. And I'll go over the offensive side last because I know my picture always tends to hide that. Actually, on this one, we can actually just switch this, right? She doesn't have support. That helps. Okay, so for her, I went down the defensive tree and offense. So offense is going to be pretty standard. Go ahead and get your crit rate, your crit damage. On the left here is kind of more focused on clan boss, really. And then depending on how many times their A1 hits, you either want to go for the War Master or the Giant Slayer. So her A1 is primarily going to be a 3-hitter, so we're going to go through the Giant Slayer. And then the defensive tree, I just wanted survivability and then tried to proc some counterattacks when I don't have the counterattack buff on. So I went ahead and got defense, got some more AoE mitigation because every little bit helps. And then I think I went down here and anytime an ally is hit with a critical, it increases her turn meter even more potentially. Because I want to get her as many turns as I can. And then I got the retribution for that counterattack chance. So for her, on her skills, her A1 is phenomenal. It hits 3 times and it fills the turn meter of 3 random allies by 15%. So that random is very crucial because the last thing that I want this to do is increase the turn meter of my Occult Brawler and not increase the turn meter of my Martyr. And I'll talk about why, but I don't want too many poisons on the clan boss. So this skill is really good for a speed team. The A2, now this will remove all the debuffs. She's not as consistent with removing those because I think primarily she prioritizes this skill to heal. But it is good to have this heal along with if I have like on a spirit clan boss that slow spell debuff. I can potentially remove that as well if the AI is smart enough. But yeah, it definitely gives me a little more healing capability that I need. And then the A3, this is pretty insane. So she'll revive an ally with 75% HP and a full turn meter, and it only has 2 turn cooldown. So on the clan boss, when you have a speed team, you're overlapping the clan boss. So if you can keep her alive, she's always going to be able to proc this skill if someone dies. So this champion does a lot for me to not only speed up my team, but she has decent damage because she has A1 that hits 3 times, and then her revive gets me out of a lot of jams. So next we'll talk about Duchess. So I recently just got Duchess, and the first time I even used her was clan boss. I didn't use her for any other content. I just leveled her up and went and did clan boss. So for her, she's my lead. Because I'll go in here and show you. So she has an all battle 19% speed. So with that, she's going to get hit a lot. If we don't have the block debuffs on, she's going to get stunned. But if she does have that on, and hopefully she has a counterattack buff on, she has an opportunity to heal herself because we got the lifesteal gear. So for her, my main focus was obviously speed, because I got to get the speed high, and I have to have defense because without survivability I'm not going to last very long. But I prioritized HP over defense for her just because of one of her skills. So we'll go through the gear here. Again, most of this is going to be speed substats, and then if I could get lucky and get a defensive percent or an HP percent, I definitely wanted to get that. And then I went ahead and got the HP percent gloves. And I think I also did the HP percent chest because I want her to have a lot of HP for one of her skills. So for her boots, again, I went speed. And then accessories, I don't remember. Let's see here. So I went defensive primary, and then I had a lot of HP substat roll there. And then defense as well there. And banner defensive as well with some speed substats and defensive percent rolls there. For the overall stats, let's see here. So we got her up to 250 speed. I think other than my poisoner, I just need to get everyone faster, really. I got her HP close to 70,000. It would be nice to get that a little higher, but I don't think I can without sacrificing some stuff that I don't want to do. But I got her defense around 3,600, which is pretty good. She survives pretty well. For her skills here, this is why I want her HP really high. So she has an A1 that will basically place a shield on herself and another ally with the lowest hit points at that time. So, and it's 10% of her max HP. So the more HP I have, the more this shield is gonna, the more this shield is gonna be. So this helps her survive and someone else survive a lot longer. She is defensive based, so she does decent damage, not bad, but that's really not what I'm using her for in this comp. She has another buff that increases her everyone's attack, which I don't really care about that much, but I care about the block debuffs. This helps out a lot because I'm not going to get slowed sometimes on spirit. I'm not going to get stunned, and I can potentially counterattack on certain scenarios as well. Unfortunately, this hurts. So on this perfect veil buff on all allies, this was really nice, but one of her skills potentially on the next patch is going to get nerfed. And so this part here isn't going to help me out as much as it has been. Her A3, this skill here, along with Raglan keeping her up, works out really well. So it revives all your dead allies with 70% HP. So ideally, in a lot of scenarios, she is the only one alive. With her HP and defense, she can stay alive a long time. And when she does that and pops everyone up, it's pretty cool. It's really nice to be able to see, everyone die a few times and her be able to kind of manage that revive to keep the damage going. Along with that, we got some healing as well. It's not insane healing, but it does help out. It does help out a little bit. And then her passive here, this is where that perfect veil I was utilizing. So she decreases the damage from AoE attacks that everyone receives by 25%, and when you're talking about bosses, 15%. So I get 15% AoE mitigation on the clan boss. I have a perk here for when I have a perfect veil or a veil, I get an additional 10% on top of that for my clan boss. In the future, I think I'm going to lose this. It's only 10%, so I think I can get away with it. But yeah, I'm just I'm not too happy about that. And then of course her aura there with the all speed definitely helps out with my speed, because I think I'm lacking a little bit. But with this aura and then with Apothecary, I think I'm able to do some things that I probably wouldn't have been able to do. So on the offensive tree, again, crit rate and crit damage. And then on the left side here is your standard clan boss setup for your masteries. And then since her skill only hits 2 times, I went ahead and got War Master. With this setup, it's going to allow her, with that lifesteal gear, to heal quite a bit. And I don't have to fully utilize on my healing capability that I actually don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of healing capability when you're talking about going into like 12 minutes of Ultra Nightmare. Sorry, I forgot about support here. So let me move my picture here. So the support, I went ahead and got the HP because I need as much HP as I can. And then we're increasing our shield here. And I did get a few things around the shield, as well as a turn meter increase when the buffs expire. But my main thing that I really want is this lasting gifts, because her buffs right now are just insane for survivability. Of course, in the future, if I lose that perk for the veil mitigation, it's not going to help out as much, but that's okay. So I might, when that change happens, I might revisit this and just see if there's another mastery that I can maybe utilize instead of that. But for now, I definitely utilize that a lot. And then the Spirit Haste. So remember I told you a lot of times everyone is dying and she's the only one alive. So when that happens, I want as much speed as I can to hopefully get a turn to revive everyone. So this mastery actually helps out more than any other champion that I've used so far. Sometimes I'll get this mastery on other champions, but I've never seen it utilized as well as in this setup here. So let's see, what do we got? We got Martyr. So Martyr, I've always used her for clan boss because of her counterattack. She does have a decreased defense as well. And you know, I've never really used her for her full capability until now. I do kind of have a mix and match of different gear right now because I needed a lot of speed on her, and I still don't have enough. I still don't have enough speed. But let's see, I got a speed set, and then a mortal set, and then a broken set. So on here, I'll kind of go over this real quick. But again, speed substats, that's what we need. Speed substats. This shield here just makes me happy. This shield here makes me happy. It's really hard to get, for me, 3 rolls on a speed set for speed. I don't get those a lot. I went ahead and got defensive gloves and chest, and then speed boots. And go ahead and pause it if I'm here. I'll go a little slower, but go ahead and pause it if you need to. I tend to go through these real quick because in my mind, people can just pause it if they really want to know every stat. On the accessories, on this one, I probably need to adjust this really, to be honest. And really, I probably need to increase my speed and potentially increase my crit rate, and then throw in a crit damage necklace to see how it goes. Now that I'm thinking of it, I would like to see how that goes with that setup. But for now, this is what I'm rolling with. Accuracy banner, great speed substat there. I probably won't be replacing that ever. Yeah, that's probably my best banner. That's probably one of my best banners that I have overall. So total stats here. So her defense, I got 4,700 defense. Her speed is 256. I think this is too low for her, and I'll talk about why on the scales, but I think I need her faster. Accuracy is 276 because it's crucial that I don't get resisted. If she's getting resisted, my whole team is probably going to fall apart. And then decent health here. So for her skills, so her A1 hits 1 time and it places that decreased defense, or has a chance at least. This is going to help out a lot to increase my damage on clan boss. She is defensive based, so she's going to hit really hard. So yeah, whenever I told you I'm going to think about the crit rate and the crit damage, I probably want to play around with that a little bit just to increase my damage that I get from her. That's probably one of my next steps, other than getting some people faster. Her A2, this is the increased defense as well as a counterattack for everyone. On a 3-turn cooldown on a speed team, this is up a lot. This skill is up a lot, and I need it. The increased defense helps the survivability, and the counterattack helps with just the damage output, as well as I told you, the Duchess, she relies on that to heal up sometimes. So really important skill there. And then the A3. So this is the skill that prior to this setup, I wasn't really utilizing. I would throw in other champions for my attack down that had like an A1 attack down, because this is on a 4-turn cooldown, and you need this up. You need this up pretty much consistently as you get higher in the minutes of Ultra Nightmare. Otherwise, you're not going to survive. So with the speed team, I've been able to lap the clan boss enough that I can actually capture this skill enough where it's always on, except for scenarios where there's too many poisons. So I have a Cult Brawler. He puts up a lot of poisons, and even though I've slowed him down and tried to increase the speed of Martyr, he still manages sometimes to put up too many poisons where it blocks us. And the AI isn't smart enough to know, hey, there's 10 debuffs on there. Don't go and use the skill. They will try to use the skill. It won't land, of course, and I'll have to wait 4 more turns. And without this debuff, the clan boss hits really hard. Hits really hard. That's where I was talking about. The Raglan. She has that A1 that increases the turn meter of 3 random champions. So if I get unlucky and that turn meter is increased for a Cult Brawler and not for Martyr, I'm gonna get too many poisons on the clan boss, and I'm going to run into a situation where I don't have this debuff all up, and that's where sometimes my battles are cut a little short. Of course, if you're mainlying it, you could do it okay, but no one wants to manual. I mean, on manual, let's see, I last about 12 minutes on average on auto. On manual, I mean, it'd probably take you, let's say two or 3 more minutes. So no one wants to sit there for 15 minutes going through a manual process. For the masteries, so nothing insane here. So prior to this setup, I always skipped these turn meter increases. Now that I'm on a speed team, I want them. She has buffs, so this will increase her turn meter when her buffs expire. And then she has debuffs, so this increases the turn meter potentially when those debuffs expire. I did get the lasting gifts because that increased defense and a counterattack, if I can extend that 1 more turn, I definitely want to do that. That helps out a lot. Eventually, so I get this Laura still, and eventually I probably want her in all speed sets to get her speed as high as I can. And then I can really kind of capture this mastery here. Even though it's not going to be a lot, every little bit of speed helps. Every little bit of speed helps. I went ahead and got the Master Hexer because if I can extend that attack down, that's going to help out for when I run into those scenarios where a Cult Brawler is going to put too many poisons up. So this is pretty much a must, I think, if you're running this comp. Otherwise, you're going to get in those scenarios where you're not going to have that debuff. Oops. And you're going to have your battles cut short. On the offensive tree, pretty standard again. Crit rate, crit damage. Go through the left side here for your clan boss setup. And then go ahead and get your War Master because she's not hitting 3 more times. So go ahead and get the War Master. She's going to hit really hard anyways. And this helps out just even more to get more damage out of her. So let's see, a Cult Brawler. So this is my poisoner, and I will say, I want to try different poisoners. He puts up so many poisons, and really doesn't bring a lot else to the table. That I think I can play around with other poisoners, if I want to level them up, to see how it goes. Because I'd be curious. I'd be curious with the speed team. Someone that doesn't put up as many poisons, what I could get away with. So again, on here, I went through a lot of speed substats. I'm still kind of playing that. I don't really know what speed to go with him, just because of Raglan's random turn meter increase, I don't want to go too low where if he doesn't get those turn meter increases, defense primary here, and then I also went defense here because I don't need speed boots. He has probably too much speed right now, so just maximizing his survivability was kind of key. I did do the stalwart gear, AoE mitigation. We want that just to kind of help out my healers because that's not their main priority anyways. And then the accessories, I think I went defense. I did. So I went defense, got some good substats there. Defense as well, got some accuracy. And then, of course, accuracy banner with speed substats and defense. So overall here on our stats, we're at 197. So I might have tweaked something because I thought I was at 200. So I'm at 197 now. I think he's okay. I don't think I need to slow him down more. I think I just need to increase Martyr. I think that's probably the right steps to go towards. 231 accuracy. Generally for Ultra Nightmare on a Poisoner, I'd say that's probably too low. But with all the speed that I have and as many poisons as he does, I think 231 is okay for him. I got 3,400 defense, which I think is actually pretty good for a cult brawler. And then the health is, I think, kind of on the low end, but it's okay. Yeah, because his base is 826. That's really low for a base defense. So to get in the 3,000 is actually pretty good for a cult brawler. We'll kind of go through his skills first here. So his skills, he has that A1 here that has a chance to land a 5% poison for 2 turns. He's attack based, so pretty much all of his damage is going to be by poison. This lands quite a bit. So it's 55% booked up. It lands quite a bit. And even that, I wouldn't even need this skill probably, to be honest. I probably don't even need that. This skill here, it removes some debuffs. It does some healing capability based on how many debuffs he has. I don't really care about this skill too much. I definitely would like something else to be here in this A2. And then his passive, this is where he gets a lot of damage because he has a lot of turns that he's taking. It placed a 2.5% poison debuff on this champion for 4 turns, so he's getting some poisons on him. He can remove some of those based on the A2, as well as I have Raglan to remove some of those. I'm not really concerned about that. But then he has a 70% chance to place a 5% poison debuff on a random enemy, but there's only a clan boss, so we don't care about that random. For 4 turns. So we'll talk about masteries here in a second, but that potentially could be 5 turns, which is insane. So on a speed team, 5 turns is forever. So yeah, so this guy here, I would like to play around with other poisoners because I think I could get away with it. I don't have Bad L. I would like to get Bad L in here just to see how many poisons he could keep up, along with some of the other stuff that he brings to the table. So on the offensive tree, crit rate, crit damage, but the main thing here, again, is this left side here to go ahead and get your War Master. That helps with more damage output from him. And then for the support, go ahead and get the accuracy. And then he does have this turn meter increase based on when debuffs expire. He has a lot of debuffs, so potentially this could proc a lot. And maybe that's another scenario that kind of gets me in trouble. But I don't want to slow him down too much, though. I did get this. Don't really need it, but helps out with a little bit of speed. And then I got Sniper just to increase that chance for the poisons, which really for the passive, right? Because that 5% on a passive is a big deal. And then Master Hexture extending those poisons. So on that passive, that 4 turns, if you can get 5 turns, they're just going to last forever. Pretty insane amount of duration for poisons. And then Apothecary, my rare kind of MVP, really. He is one of my favorite rare champions. So for him, I went ahead and got all speed set. And I need more speed on him, I think. The more speed I can get on him, the better. Let's see here. So, of course, we're going to go for the speed substats and then try to get survivability. A lot of people, one second. So I got HP here. It just because I didn't have a defensive percent. Ideally, I want this defensive percent, but I did have good speed substats. It is speed gear. That's all I really had right now. This is again HP percent. I want to switch that to defensive percent, but I don't want to lose my speed. So I might be waiting a while. Speed boots there, and then accessories. Survivability is pretty much what I'm looking for. Defensive there, HP defense. Got defense as well there. Got some more HP there. And then the banner as well, defense, speed substats. I need to get him. I need to get him faster. A lot of people focus on crit rate because of one of his skills on healing, but for me, I want him just to have more survivability and more speed. The crit rate is nice for one of his skills, but it's not priority in this build. So his speed right now is 284. I would like to bump him up above 300. And the defense is a little less than 3,000. So I think I need to get this higher. Because especially when I'm facing Affinity, I think it's, red, Force Affinity. This guy dies a lot. If it wasn't for all my revive skills that I have, he probably wouldn't last very long. He does have decent HP, but I always favor defense over HP. Crit rate's 48%. That's okay. That's kind of a bonus there. For his skills, his A1 is going to hit 3 times. So we always like that on Clan Boss. His A2, this is where that crit rate comes into play. His heal can actually crit. It's nice when it does, especially when you're in those jams, you need a big heal. But there's just other stats that I need more on him. The A3 here, this is why I have him on this team. So he's going to place that 30% increased speed buff on everyone. And that is based on your total speed, not your base speed. So 30%, that's a lot of speed. That's a lot of speed when you're talking about champions, in the 250 speed mark overall. That's a lot of speed. And he also fills the turn meter of all allies. So right here, my goal is to keep this buff up all the time. I want to lap the clan boss where I can have this buff on and never lose it. So for his masteries, I went ahead and I got some HP. Really, I wanted some more healing capability. So on here, I got some healing capability. I have increased turn meter for his buffs. So anytime that buff expires, he's going to have a chance to go faster. Some more healing capability. I went ahead and got the Lore Still because he has 3 sets of speed gear. So again, every ounce of speed that you can get is going to help in this build. And then the lasting gifts, because that speed buff, if I get in a jam and I can't get it up all the time, if I can extend it one turn, that's going to save me there for my speed. And I think I went ahead and got this just in case someone dies. It helps speed them up. I didn't really have much to choose from. And then for the offensive tree, crit rate, crit damage. Crit rate is going to help out with that healing. And I went ahead and got Giant Slayer because his A1 hits 3 times. So for this, I have a little overview that I usually share on my clan boss. But this is kind of showing the overall stats of everyone, the type of gear that they're wearing. And then I threw in I have a total speed, and then I have a speed with 30% buff. as well as an aura 19%. So I wanted to focus on those sections because I wanted to know with that buff and with the aura what my champions are really performing in the battle. That just helps me get a better feel for, what speed is needed because, like I said, Martyr, she needs to overlap the clan boss so many times to get that attack down. And without that, I'm not going to survive very long. Apothecary, he has that turn meter increase. He has the speed buff that is really going to help out my team. He does decent damage based on support because his A1 hits 3 times. And the healing skill is kind of a perk. Raglan, like I said, she is going to help speed up my team, get me out of jams with the revive. And just a pretty strong champion. She has the healing, the remove debuffs. Duchess, she is kind of the last standing champion, healing herself, putting up some shields for everyone, and reviving everyone when she's the last person standing. And then she has the AoE mitigation. Martyr, like I said, is getting those debuffs on, putting out pretty good damage as well as some crucial buffs on my team. And then Occult Brother, like the poisons, I can probably sub him out for someone else, which I would like to. We'll have to see. It's a lot of work to level someone up and gear someone out for an Ultra Nightmare. But I would like to try that in the future to see how it works. But hopefully that helps you guys. I know I got some requests on digging through the detail of all these champions. No, I know it's not for everyone, but hopefully that helps you kind of get an idea of how to build a speed team and just, what things you can work on. Because, like I said, Martyr, she's not that A1 attack down champion. You don't have to have that on a speed team. You can get around that if you can get enough speed. If you can get enough speed, you can get around that and have a champion that has that attack down on like their A2 or A3. So anyways, hope that helps. In the future, I'll put out some more videos around different compositions for you guys. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.